What's up, everybody? This is Teacher Israel from Evolution Series. Today, we will talk about quantifiers and final product. Recordemos que en esta lección 5 ya estamos abordando un repaso de temas. Por lo tanto, será un repaso más una explicación breve acerca del producto final, cómo incluir estos temas en el producto final. También recordar que en la unidad 3 o en el tercer parcial estamos abordando cuestiones de interculturalidad. Así que vamos a ver, en este caso en específico, en este segundo semestre, hemos estado hablando de equidad de género. Vamos a ver qué podemos aprender para aplicarlo en nuestro producto final. So, we have the quantifiers for the countable, okay? That is how much, cuánto o cuánta, much, mucho, mucha, a lot of, mucho de, little, poco o poca, a little, un poco o una poca, is some, poco o poca. For the countable, we have how many, cuántos o cuántas, many, muchos o muchas, a lot of, few, pocos o pocas, a few, unos pocos o unas pocas, and some, poco o poca. Recordemos que es fácil entenderlo si hablamos de lo que no se puede contabilizar, que no se cuenta, ¿ok? Tendríamos que utilizar otras formas, pero en sí son conceptos, ya lo hemos dicho, y la misma pregunta se entiende. ¿Cuánto o cuánta es singular? Es decir, es un concepto. La respuesta, por supuesto, será igual, en singular. Mucho, mucha, poco, poca. Sin embargo, lo que sí se cuenta, hablamos en plural, porque se puede contar, no importa si es uno o es dos o más. Pero preguntamos cuántos, cuántas, las respuestas serían muchos, muchas, pocos o pocas. Recordando que tenemos aquí, en este caso, algunos que podemos utilizar en ambos casos, cuando es una gran cantidad o una pequeña cantidad. Vamos a identificarlos. Tenemos how many, many, how much, much, few, little, a few, a little. Pero tenemos en ambos, tenemos a lot of y some. Veamos aquí. Entonces, esos los utilizaremos en ambos casos, sin importar si es countable o uncountable noun. Ahora bien, un ejemplo de la aplicación en el producto final. We have Mexico. In Mexico, the younger generations today reach higher levels of education than the older generation. The percentage of people between 25 and 34 years old with a certificate of at least high school average is almost double, 44%, that one of people between 55 and 64 years of age who have the same level, same educational level, 23%. A similar evolution can be observed at the university level. Only 12% of people between the ages of 55 and 64 have obtained a college education degree, while the 23% of young people between the ages of 25 to 34 have done so. And now, from the total economically active population in the country, only 21% was made up women, and 7% of them were unemployed, while the economically inactive population group, 74%, is made up of women. These figures speak of themselves and show that most women are engaged in non-remunerative activities. This situation is reinforced with the conception tradition of woman in Mexican society. Women should not have aspirations other than the home or maternity, and also intervening the machismo. The participation of women in the active life of the country is greater before marriage. 58% of women work before getting married, and only 13% have done so after getting married or continue working. This indicates that a high percentage of married women deal exclusively with housework, where they are marginalized from the economic, social, and political activities of the country. From the total number of illiterates in the country, 51% are men and 49% are women, a difference that is not very significant and could even be considered favorable to women. While the total number of illiterates, 45% are men and 55% women, if the different levels of education are taken into account, it is observed that to a greater degree of education, the lower the number of women who participate in the educational process. Once again, in primary school or in elementary school, of the total number of students, 46% are men and 54% are women. In secondary education, of the total number of students, 58% are men, while 42% are women. At this level, the difference by sex is more significant than at the previous level. It is geared towards women to normal education or commercial careers for secretaries, accountants, assistants, and others. In generally short careers, since it is thought that if they are long, they are not going to finish them because they get married or because they will be expensive as family investment. In high school education, the percentage of women who study is only 28%, a lower percentage to the average basic level. Finally, the percentage of women who study the higher education cycle is 24% in the bachelor's degree and 30% in postgraduate, a level at which the educational inequality between the sexes is clearly shown. So what about Afghanistan? In Afghanistan, many girls, in Pakistan, many girls in Pakistan do not have access to education due to various reasons, such as the scarcity of public schools, especially for girls. Nearly 22.5 million children in Pakistan, a country with a population of just over 200 million, are out of the school, most of them girls. 32% of girls of primary school age are out of schools in Pakistan compared to 21% of boys. In ninth grade, only 13% of girls are still in school. The Pakistani government has consistently invested much less in education than international standards recommend. In 2017, Pakistan was spending less than 2.8% of its gross domestic product on education, below the recommended 4 to 6%, leaving the government education system with a very limited funding. Public schools are so limited that even in Pakistan major cities, many children cannot safely walk to a school in a reasonable amount of time. The situation is much worse in rural areas, and there are many more schools for boys than for girls. Secondary schools are scarcer than primary schools, and universities have even less capacity, especially for female students. Many girls who complete the upper level at one school do not have access to a school where they could move on to the next level. In the absence of an adequate public school system, there has been a massive growth in the number of private schools, many of them low cost. But poor families often cannot afford tuition fees, and the government's near failure to regulate and supervise these schools means that many of them are of poor quality. So we have questions. For example, how much population does Pakistan have? Pakistan has much population. Pakistan has a lot of population. How much female population is in the school? Pakistan has little female population in school, or Pakistan has some female population in school. How many men in Mexico is in higher education? Mexico has many men in higher education. Mexico has a lot of men in higher education. How many women in Mexico is in higher education? Or Mexico has a few women on higher education. Mexico has some women on higher education. Tenemos ejemplos aquí, chicos. Entonces, después de un texto que nos habla precisamente de los niveles educativos, tenemos entonces que diferenciar cuáles preguntas podemos poner utilizando los cuantificadores o los quantifiers y decidir cuáles son conceptos y cuáles son números, es decir, cuáles son contables y cuáles son uncountables, cuáles se pueden contar y cuáles no. Y hacemos entonces preguntas para nuestro producto final, una presentación. Recuerden que los países que ustedes compararán serán México, Pakistán e Islandia. Thank you.